We are in the circle, NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia series talking all things softball across North Jersey. This is Season 6, Episode 3. It has been a while, but we are back to catch you up on all that has gone on across the North Jersey softball scene in the last couple of weeks, and it is an exciting time as the county tournaments hit crunch time. I am Corey Doviak, being joined by our resident North Jersey softball insider. He is the great Richie Ballgame Barton. What's going on, Richie B?
Lots of wild softball games in the last week, and we're looking forward to talking about them.
Well, people who know us know that I am loath to compliment you for anything. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
But I am going to hit you with the kudos stick here. Some great coverage by you of the Bergen County softball tournament. I think you were at 2 games in the round of 16. Both of them interesting stories. You were at the game before that too, in the opening round. I think I can't keep track. These days go by so fast. But we were both on the softball beat yesterday as we taped this on Wednesday night. So let's just jump right in. Obviously, here's the thing. Here's the white elephant in the room. The Bergen County softball tournament is now open for any of the 8 teams left playing to go on and win it because of probably the biggest upset in the history of the Bergen County softball tournament. And I say probably only because it is hard to put that in a definitive statement. But there are only a handful of other times that would match up with this possibly. But top-seeded and undefeated IHA, no longer a part of the field, beaten in 10 innings and the international tie-breaking rule by the plucky squad from Bergen Tech. Richie B, that changes things quite a bit, and we're going to talk all about it tonight with who?
We are grabbing the winning pitcher, senior Casey Calabrese, and we're also grabbing Francesco Laredo, who gunned a runner out at the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning to keep the game scoreless, which then obviously set things in motion at the top of the 10th when Gianna Soros, RBI triple, drove home the only run of the game.
Yes, all of that brought to you by our anchor sponsor, our presenting sponsor, All Stars, your baseball and softball practice facility, state-of-the-art batting and pitching simulators, located at 79 South Main Street in Lodi. Check them out on the web at allstarswithaz practice.com. And I have a sneaking suspicion that that very facility will come up in our conversation later as we talk Bergen Tech upset of IHA. But we're not going to do it now because there are other things, other good storylines, other things to ponder here. Richie Ballgame, as we talk about the Bergen County Softball Championship, which heads into its quarterfinal round this weekend at Overpeck Park. Do you want to start, or should I?
Go right ahead. Jump in.
Well, the game that I was at was number 5 Ramapo against number 12 Teaneck. And I hold here, Richie B. Do you hear this paper rustling?
I hear it.
Okay. Well, that is the roster for the Ramapo Green Raider softball team. And as I look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 freshmen on that roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sophomores on that roster. And it is unbelievable the talent that Ramapo has possessed here. I use the term renaissance because, as we know, and I was telling a couple of the Ramapo girls yesterday when I was interviewing all about the great Brittany Bianco, who pitched Ramapo to 2 county championships, 2 out of the 3 straight that it won. Still the only public school team to have ever done that. Obviously, Ramsey, the number 2 seed this year, is the 2-time defending champion with a chance to turn the same feat this year. But until they do, Ramapo stands alone in that category, and this is the best Ramapo team I have seen since then, and a bunch of young kids leading the way.
A bunch of young kids, but you know what? it's not like they're, I think maybe earlier on in the season it was kind of like, oh, they're a nice surprise. But now you get to this point in the season and you realize this team is for real. I mean, they can hit, they play with a ton of energy, and, they're a live dog, so to speak.
They are the number 5 seed, and they hosted Teaneck in the round of 16. And Teaneck, listen, I'm not a softball coach, but I would hate to have to play Teaneck because they are just a pain. They're so good offensively. They work pitch counts. They take their walks. They attack on the base paths. They put the ball in play. I mean, they don't strike out that often. Their number 9 hitter hit a triple to the wall yesterday. Really good offensive team, and they jumped all over Rampo. Got out to a 4-0 lead, a 6-1 lead after 4 innings. And Rampo's starting pitcher, McKenna Lunt, is a freshman, and it wasn't even that she pitched bad early. A couple errors kind of set the table for Teaneck early in the first inning, led to 4 unearned runs against Lant. So she's a freshman, and, it just wasn't her day for a variety of reasons. Not necessarily all of her own doing. In fact, not all of her own doing for sure. So they go to the bullpen, Richie B. You think, hey, we got to stabilize this game. We better find a senior or a junior. Somebody's been in this situation before to, stop the bleeding here and give us a chance to come back in the game. No. How about Jenna DeLucia, another freshman, in from left field? She goes 4 in the 3rd innings. Rampo comes all the way back. One of the best hitters in Bergen County, Macy Eglinton Manor, who Richie B is as eloquent in a post-game interview as you and I are ineloquent in every phase of our lives.
I look forward to interviewing her at some point. Just out of curiosity.
Oh, like that. Now, I don't want to make any assumptions. I don't know what kind of student she is. But, if there's a signing day and she's signing to play at an Ivy League school, I will not be at all, surprised. She was talking about going to the plate with a clear mind and how she, has things to work on where she can clear her mind of all thoughts when she goes. But she just, put it into words. She's a sophomore in high school and a heck of a softball player. She hit a 2-run bomb 2 days ago to beat Clifton. She hit a 2-run bomb yesterday to get Rampo right back in the game, and then they went on to win it on a ground ball by one of the only 2 seniors on the roster, Jenna Ribeiro. Bases loaded, do-or-die play at third base. Play wasn't made. Rampo escapes. 7-6 victory. And what does that do, Richie B? That sets up a quarterfinal date in the same school district with a team that is the, let's be honest, the public school, along with Ramsey over the last decade. Ramsey over the last couple years, but over the last decade, you look at Indian Hills as the premier public school program in not just Bergen County, but North Jersey and beyond. And it's Rampo, it's Indian Hills, sister schools in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and Joe Light, I mean, for his first year coaching, he is really
right.
putting things together. No, I mean,
big future.
Definitely a big bright future out of that guy.
Yep.
But you know how they're going to be. They're going to play hard. They're not going to make mistakes in the field. They're going to put the ball in play, and when they get on the bases, they're going to put as much pressure on you as possible. So for Ramapo, obviously, it's a big rivalry. It's a big game. They cannot give away extra outs like they did yesterday.
Yeah, they can't afford a bad start.
It could be a long day.
Right. Yes, correct. All right, so Indian Hills is the number 4 seed. Rampo is the number 5 seed. They will play at noon at Overpeck Park. Let's move over to the other side of the bracket here quickly. You covered Old Tappan. Old Tappan, the number 9 seed, and we're going to get into Bergen Tech, as I said, in just a little bit. But Bergen Tech's opponent will be 9th-seeded Old Tappan, which went on the road and won in a very tough place to play over the years, especially, when you go in there as a like-minded or like-abilitied team with Paramus. Paramus usually comes out on top on its own home field. Not the case yesterday, as Old Tappan went in there and got themselves a win that's been a long time coming in the Bergen County tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the round of 16 has been a bit of a bugaboo for the Golden Knights in recent years, but they played well. I mean, they got off to a tough start the first couple innings, but the second time through the year, number 9 batter, by the way, Gabriella Raimondo, senior, you know, an unheralded type of player.
Yep.
But, you know, she got everything started on 2 separate occasions, you know, with singles. The first time, you know, it led to 4 straight hits, including a 3-run homer by freshman Olivia Cataldo. Cataldo or Cataldo? You
no
would think
S.
I would know that offhand, being I wrote it. But
yes. Well, you anyway, wrote it. You wrote it with an S. I edited it to be a T. No S. Cataldo.
Okay. There you go. So yeah, you know, 3-run bomb goes up 3-0. Reagan Drew, freshman pitcher, was cruising along, ran into a couple tough jams, but every time she ran into a tough jam, she found a way to get out of it. And that was really, you know, that comes down to having the confidence to throw certain pitches in certain counts. It almost felt like she was working backwards, which is really, you know, impressive, to be quite honest, that she was able to do that and hit the spots and stay poised all at the same time. If they can play like they played yesterday, I mean, they're going to give whoever they play moving forward a real problem from here on out.
Yeah, well, they're the 9 seed, and they will play number 17, Bergen Tech, in the opener, the 10 o'clock game on Saturday at Overpeck Park. So unlike the Northern Valley Regional High School at Old Depend JV team, which saw its Bergen County tournament run come to an end in the very first round in a 3-2 loss to the great Kevin Sabella and the Ramsey Fightin' Rams, the Northern Valley Old Depend senior team, the varsity squad, moving on to the quarterfinals of the Bergen County tournament. And let's quickly shift to the other side of the bracket where defending champion, now the highest seeded team left, number 2 Ramsey, gets set to host Ridgewood. Let's just say this about Ridgewood, Richie B. What a spring season so far for the overall athletic community in Ridgewood. Girls lacrosse, as usual, Bergen County champion. Boys lacrosse, as, I don't want to say all the time, but many times, Bergen County champion. Baseball team, still alive in the Bergen County tournament quarterfinal round. Softball team, after the hard-fought 2-1 win over Northern Highlands, they find themselves also in the quarterfinals, the number 7 seed against number 2 Ramsey. Richie B., what says you?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it is definitely been a good spring for Ridgewood. That is for sure. And, I mean, but they're going to have, that's winning a game 2-1, not giving away extra outs, pitching well. That's what you have to do to beat a team like Ramsey. I mean, it's going to be real tough to slug with them, but Ridgewood has absolutely nothing to lose. All the pressure is on Ramsey. And that's going to be an interesting game, and I'm looking forward to see how that plays out.
Do you think really there's no pressure on Ridgewood? Because, you know,
no.
Yes, Ramsey is the 2-time defending champion. I get it. But Ramsey was not the favorite to win this tournament.
They're the number 2 seed. I mean, you know, if they're not the favorite, they're the co-favorite.
No, there was a gap. There was a gap.
I don't think there's that much of a gap between IHA. We talked about it in the pre-season, you know, before the tournament.
I changed my mind.
It's IHA, Ramsey, IC, and then we felt there was a drop-off there.
I changed my mind.
You're really unbelievable. I got to tell you. Yeah, Ramsey is, you know, they are who they are, and
but Ridgewood's a Group 4. Ridgewood has won this tournament. You know, I mean, I don't think they can go in and play loosey goosey. I think they're going in there, you know, with the same type of pressure because I think
they're not. Of course, they're going to go in there to win, but you know, I don't think they're going to. You know, to beat Ramsey, you know, Ramsey's not going to give up a lot of runs. You're going to have to win a 2-1 game, a 3-2 game. That was my point.
Hold on, I'm trying to think of another cliche we could add to this conversation full of cliches. You know what I think they should do, Richie? I think they should take it one out at a time and not look past any opponent.
Yes. Focus on every pitch.
Right. And then the last quarterfinal matchup. But listen, a good job by Riverdale. Riverdale was the number 19 seed. Handled Emerson in the first round in what could be an upset, you know, as the seeds are considered. And then they gave Immaculate Conception a real run Riverdale's got a bunch of seniors. They did a good job winning a game and then being competitive in the round of 16 against Immaculate Conception, but still the Blue Wolves back where you would expect they would be in the quarterfinal round. And they will host Mawa, and this is where your award-winning reporting will come in handy here, because you are a big Mawa fan. First of all, I know you were a big Hasbrook Heights fan. You covered them during the regular season. You get on the phone after the game. Oh, Heights is good, dude. Heights is good. So I know you were a Hasbrook Heights fan, and then Mawa goes into Hasbrook Heights and beats them on the turf there.
Mawa played about in every aspect of the game, they played about as well as you could play. I mean, to beat Heights is a good team, and they beat them 9-1, and it wasn't fluky in any way. They grinded out at bats. They made every play they needed to make. Julia Carlos was throwing gas in the circle. I mean, if they could play like that, and this is crazy because you got IC and Ramsey on that side of the bracket. If they can play like that every game, they're going to win the point. That's how confident I am. But it's easy, it's great to say it, but it's hard to play a perfect game every time out. But that shows that they're capable of doing it.
And they have one of the best coaches to ever lace them up. I mean, Craig Nielsen, he's proven it.
He's the man.
He's the best. Has proven it over the years in softball. Obviously in football, too, back-to-back state championships in football a couple years ago. So they're not going to be out-coached or maneuvered or strategized by Immaculate Conception. But they could be out-talented. I don't know. I haven't seen both teams.
Well, I mean, I think IC top to bottom has the most, they're as talented as any team in the county. They're one of the most talented teams in the state, and they're experienced. But what you have in Mawa also is the revenge factor. Remember, this is a rematch of a quarterfinal last year that IC scored the bottom of the seventh to win 3-2 in the quarterfinals. So Mawa will certainly be licking their chops, but again, licking their chops and getting it done against a team like IC is another story. But if they can put it all together, I think that could be the best game of the day.
It definitely has the potential to be. And from early reports, Richie B, I have heard a rumor that there will be a member of the NorthJerseySports.com editorial staff in attendance at Overpeck Park for a good portion of the day.
Richie ball game from start to finish. I'll be there at 9:30. I'll be leaving there at God knows what time.
See, I think you're going to be leaving there about 9:40.
Bring like a Gatorade or like a snack or something. Help us all out.
When you see Richie B's belly, you're going to know that he's not kidding about a snack or a Gatorade.
No, absolutely
right.
not.
You say you're getting there 9:30. What time are you going to leave? I say you're going to leave about 9:40 because I think Rutherford head coach Helen Anselides is going to be working the gate and taking tickets and collecting money. So I don't think you're getting through there, pal.
Oh, no way. I'm slipping right through there. She's going to be so busy and running around. I'm just going to slide right in and I'll be ready to go.
You're the mush of all mushes for Rutherford.
Well, there are 8 teams left, and I like them all. Like, I can't look everything.
All right, Richie B, now it is time to talk about the game that everybody else is talking about all across North Jersey softball circles, Bergen County especially, and also on the statewide level. It is the 1-0 victory, the historic 1-0 victory by 17th-seeded Bergen Tech in 10 innings on the vaunted turf behind the Immaculate Heart Academy. And we have 2 members of that upset squad from Bergen Tech joining us right now on the All-Stars Practice Hotline. All-Stars, your baseball and softball practice facility. Check them out at allstarswithaz practice.com. And let's welcome in here to In the Circle. First, we have a senior pitcher, Casey Calabrese. Casey, thank you for joining us here on In the Circle.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's nice to have you. And we also have Francesca Lorito, who made one of the defensive plays of the year, surely in the 9th inning. We will get a little bit deeper into it, but first, let's welcome her. Francesca, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you.
You go ahead. I've talked enough. All right, so here we go. Casey, when did you realize that, oh my God, we really have a chance to win this game?
I realized we had a chance to win the game when our defense was just on. Like, we were making every play, and we were getting 3 up and 3 down just every time we went out there.
Can you remember, like, one specific play that somebody made in the field where you were like, wow, that's going to help?
Somebody hit a bullet at Gianna Sarlo, and she just grabbed it and threw it first, and I was like, we really have a shot. I think it was in, like, the second inning.
That's crazy. All right, Richie B, I've said enough. You want to handle some of this conversation, go ahead. And I know you have a long-time relationship with the father of Casey Calabrese, which is how we have her here on the show.
Father and mother.
Okay.
Know them both a long time. Great people. And a shore house roommate of Casey Calabrese's father. So good time for him.
Yeah, stop right there. We don't need any of those stories. Go ahead. Let's keep it to softball.
All right. So anyway, talk about your approach, because with IHA having, you don't really have any breaks 1 through 9 where you're just thinking, all right, I've got to keep the ball down. I've got to make speeds. I mean, were you trying to work backwards, or were you just thinking, all right, every pitch, whatever they call it, I just have to throw it to the glove?
I knew that I had to get ahead in the count because I knew that I had to get them swinging. So I would usually throw, and I knew I had to keep it low because these girls can all hit them over the fence. We all know that. We've all seen all the scores. We've all looked them up on Edge.com.
Right.
So I was throwing a lot of drops. I was starting out with a lot of drops, and then I would throw like a curve, and I was just trying to like keep everything low so everything would stay on the ground and in the infield. That was my strategy.
When you're throwing up 0 after 0 after 0, were there ever any nerves, or were you thinking like, all the pressure's on them? No matter what, we've kind of. Was there a point in the game where you felt like, all right, we're not just happy to be in it. This is our game to win.
I mean, I was thinking from the beginning of the game, we have nothing to lose. We're the 17 seed. They're the 1 seed. All the pressure was on them. And once we started putting pressure on them, we were getting everything back, and we just knew that we had a shot.
All right, let's bring Francesca into the conversation here. And Francesca, as the game's going on here, like Casey probably doesn't have as much time to ponder. She's got to get the ball back from the catcher and throw it again and do all those things. But as an outfielder, you're not involved in every play, or at least, physically involved. I know mentally you got to keep your head in the game every pitch after pitch. But how about what were you thinking as you get to the second inning at 0-0? You're in the 5th inning at 0-0. You're in the 7th inning at 0-0. I mean, were you freaking out? Were you calm? Were you, just take us through what your mindset was as this, as this upset started to take shape?
I was a little nervous at first. The game just kept dragging on, and I just knew that anything hit to me, I'd have to keep it in front. I couldn't let anything over my head because that would have been really bad. But
yeah,
it was just nerve-wracking because we did know that they had more pressure, but it did feel like we were having the pressure on us because we knew we could beat them, and we just made the team effort for it.
Yeah, because once you get involved in it, that goes away. Like, yeah, we weren't supposed to be here anyway, but yeah, it's 0-0 in the 7th inning. Why don't we try to win this thing? It has to be pretty crazy. All right, so let's talk about the play. Richie B, you go ahead with Francesca.
The throw. I mean, well, let's let Francesca talk about it.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, 1 out, fly ball to you. You obviously know you have to come up throwing. Talk about how you really felt that play unfold.
Yeah, the ball got hit to me, and in my head, I exactly knew that I had to shoot 4 no matter what. At first, I thought I dropped the ball because it was just such a low. It was a low line drive, and I thought I dropped it because it was so close to the ground. But I know I felt it in my glove, and I knew that I had to just shoot 4, and I knew that everyone would have my back no matter what.
That's crazy. Casey, what did you? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Richie. You were on the same wavelength there.
I was going to say, talk about, when you play the softball season, even a close-knit team, you kind of just get into a routine. But when you play in a game like this, and then Francesca makes a throw like she did, just talk about how much different the energy level is and how much more intensity that brings to a game.
After Francesca made that throw, it was just, we all knew that that was the point when we knew that we could do it. Like, Francesca made the throw, and Aisha held it, that's the catcher, and she tagged her, And when the ump said she was out, we all just went crazy, and we knew what we had to do. We knew we had to get that hit. We had to get the run in, and that's what we did.
All right, so let's continue on now. So you get that out. Now you go to the 10th inning. You get the run, and now you're up 1-0. Talk about trying to close them out. You know, the runner automatically gets put in scoring position. You guys used it to your advantage in the top of the inning. As a pitcher, and I don't think I've ever asked a softball pitcher this before, I mean, regardless of this situation, you know, what is your approach in the international tie-breaking? You know, do you figure, hey, I got a run to work with because worst case scenario, if that girl scores, we're tied and the game continues? Or are you, all out to keep that? How do you approach it?
Well, it was 1-0, and we knew that we had nothing to lose, so we wanted to win. So initially, this next play was a bunt, so I was going to throw it to third, but I bobbled it, so I had to throw it to first.
Right.
But when I was pitching, I just knew that I had to keep everything on the ground. And playing a team like IHA, I did the same thing with Ramsey the year before. I faced batters like this before. You know what you have to do. You have to keep it low. You have to keep them off balance. And that's what I did.
Cool. What else?
And when you get that final out, both of you, talk about how this feels, knowing that we just played in a game that when we're 25, 30, 40, 50, we're going to run into each other, and this is the game we're always going to talk about.
Who was Richie? Richie, that's the cardinal sin. You say both of you, and then what are they supposed to do? Start talking at the same time? Francesca, go first. How does it feel to be a part of the historic win that, at your 25th high school reunion, when you're all sitting around, the first thing that's going to pop up is, hey, IHA game. Remember that? Are you able to process that yet? Because this tournament, you guys got to take the field on Saturday again. Are you thinking about, wow, we just made history, or is it more like, hey, we got a quarterfinal game to play on Saturday?
I think at first everyone was really just amazed. I know I was in complete shock, but I think now everyone's head just turned. We have to play Saturday. We have to play our hearts out. We need to keep going. No, we can't lose now.
Yep. And Casey, how do you guys feel now? Now that IHA is out of the tournament, there is really, it's anybody's to win here. Bergen Tech is one of 8 teams left in the tournament with a chance to win. You guys feel like you could take this whole thing now?
I think we have a shot, but I think we need to work really hard and have the same mindset that we had going into IHA, and I think that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah. All right, last thing, and it's for you, Francesca, because they have become an integral part of our website here on NorthJerseySports.com. They help pay the bills. They are a sponsor here. They are the All-Stars practice facility in Lodi, and we know you are a client down there. How has working with the great Leslie Corci Valenti, an old, I take that back, a former high school friend of mine. We went to high school together. I removed the word old when speaking about myself in those terms. But Francesca, how about training with Leslie, and how has that helped you in your softball career here in your junior season?
I think training with Leslie has been just a blast. I've been with her since I was 10 from a camp that I went to in Paramus Catholic in the bubble. It's just been a blast with her. I've gotten to be there for all the new changes that she has, and everything that upgraded, like the new machines and the new hitting machines and the new pitching machines that she has in there is just totally amazing, and I don't think I could trade it for anything else.
How about that, Richie B? The perfect endorsement. Wow. And this is all organic, too. We didn't know this beforehand.
Fantastic. This is great.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Casey Calabrese, senior, not playing softball in college, is that correct?
That is correct.
So you're going to go off and become a student at the beautiful Boca Raton campus of the Florida Atlantic University. You're going to be an Owl. Last couple weeks, it's going to end at some time. Even if you go on to win the Tournament of Champions, you're going to play your last high school softball game here. Just talk about, trying to relax and enjoy this thing down the stretch of what has, I'm sure, been a very, fun part of your life. Hello?
These last few games, sorry.
That's okay.
That's my thing.
No, that's good. I appreciate a thoughtful answer. I should maybe do that more before I give answers. So, correct. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just really excited to keep playing with my team. I mean, without my team, behind me, especially defensively, offensively. They just always have my back, no matter who we play, no matter what the team is, the pressure. My team always has my back, and that's going to keep me enjoying and relaxed in the games to come.
That's cool. And how about you, Francesca? What are you hoping to get out of the last couple of weeks of this junior season for you? You got one left, but it's, not too many teams can only, there's, I think, 57 high schools in Bergen County, something there about, and only 8 of them are left playing in the Bergen County tournament. That's got to be a great feeling, and what are you hoping for out of these next couple of weeks?
I really think that we can get through these next couple of weeks, that we can win all the way through the tournament, that we can just keep going no matter what, and that we could just put ourselves out there more than we already have been.
Well said. Casey Calabrese, thank you.
Thank you.
Francesca Laurito, thank you.
Thank you again.
And best of luck this weekend against Old Japan, but go easy on them. That is my hometown team over there. So I have torn allegiances. I feel like we're so close after this conversation, but now you're playing my hometown team, so maybe you're both gold. I'll wear a gold sweatshirt and I'll enjoy the game. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, ladies. All right, Richie B, great stuff there with our 2 guests, Casey Calabrese and Francesca Laurito, both of the got to be walking on Cloud 9 Bergen Tech Knights over there. And, Richie, it's not often that we we play interviews of kids that we do, post-game interview with on the field, and we play them in the show occasionally and do that type of thing. But it's not often that we get 2 players from the same team on the line at the same time. And I thought they gave us great stuff there. I mean, it's a historic win. The next time a number 1 seed goes down early in the Bergen County tournament in any sport, they're going to be like, remember Bergen Tech beat IHA. I mean, that game's going to live on for a while here.
For as long as we're doing this. I mean,
which may be like another couple minutes, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that game is going to be the standard for every upset that happens, in county tournament history.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so now it is time, because I know people care. And this is the great thing about this. We're going to make our predictions here. There are 8 teams left. We're going to pick the quarterfinal winners. We'll pick the semifinal winners. We'll pick the final winners. And because I am covering baseball, the Bergen County Baseball Tournament on Saturday, and you have to go in and show face at the Bergen County Softball Tournament, I'm going to go off the wall and make you go in there and pay for it. How about that?
Oh, I can't believe you're doing this to me. But all right, let's go for it.
All right, let's start with the game we just talked about in earnest. The 17th-seeded Bergen Tech Knights against the 9th-seeded Northern Valley Old Japan Golden Knights. Richie B, you go first.
Oh man!
Now you're going to be standing next to the pitcher's father for the entire game.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. Both teams like to fly under the radar and not be picked.
Right.
So I'm a little safe on that front there.
Correct.
Here's as well as Old Japan played the other day. Oh God, how do I pick against them when they play that well? But
you got vomit on your sweater already.
I'm gonna go with Bergen Tech for 2 reasons. One, coming off a win like this, that's the type of win that can carry it. Maybe to a final, maybe to a championship. Who knows? Right. And also, I'm sure Melissa Landek will use me picking against her as motivation. And yes. As a friend, any way I can help. That's the kind of person I am.
Now, Richie B, you do know my daughter Hope. You have met her?
I've met her.
Yeah. You know what team she plays for?
I'm aware of it.
Okay.
I know you're picking Old Japan,
okay.
So I got to go the other way, right?
Correct. I will take Northern Valley Regional High School at Old Japan in that game. And thank you to our guests, Casey Calabrese and Francesca Laurito. All right, this is another impossible
I better get
one.
a Bergen Tech shirt out of it.
Yes, you really should get a Bergen Tech. You're not smart enough to wear a Bergen Tech shirt, though. You got the old Bergen Tech, maybe. The Bergen Academies, no shot. All right, number 4 Indian Hills against number 5 Ramapo. You want me to go first, or are you going to take the honors?
I'll take. You know what? Since you're throwing me under the bus so quickly. Right. I'll lead out on all of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with God.
It's hard. That's what makes this tournament fun. It's open.
Before we came on the air, I knew exactly what I was going to say,
Yep.
Because, like, I say that about Bergen Tech, and I could be saying the same thing about Ramapo, but I think Indian Hills was a sleeping giant, so to speak. No one's really talking about them, and they've had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Meg Sears is one of the best players in the county. I'm going with Indian Hills here. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 6-4.
Yeah, and it really is amazing how Indian Hills... No, it's not amazing. It's not surprising at all. Joe Light's program reloads every year. But Angela Sarek was such a big part of this team for the last 3 years before this. They won a section last year with her in the circle. She was a dominant player, and then they're right back at it again. They're in the quarterfinals. And listen, if you read my story on NorthJerseySports.com, which is appearing today as we tape this on Wednesday, you know I'm a big fan of Ramapo. I think they're great, but, when they might be a year away. If they have the kind of slow start that they had against Teaneck, where, they were able to find their footing and then get the bats going late when Teaneck was not able to tack on, you give Indian Hills a similar opportunity, and you can bet it's going to be trouble all the way through. So I love Ramapo, Richie B. So I'm going to pick the upset. I'll take Ramapo.
Oh, my God. Wow, you picking Old Japan and Ramapo. What an unbelievable surprise.
It says nothing about my love for Joe Light, because I have been a fan of his over many sports for many years, so he knows, I hope, that I mean nothing personal by it. I'm just talking out of, my armpit. Anyway. We got 2 left here. Let's go to the bottom of the bracket. Now, let's see if you're going to back up your words about your favorite team, the Mahwah Thunderbirds, who will play Immaculate Conception in the quarterfinals.
I'm not going to back up my words because I think top to bottom, I think IC is the best team left in the tournament. I think it's going to be a very similar game to last year. I think it's going to be a close game. But I see, Mahwah's definitely looking for revenge, but I see is looking for a measure of revenge in itself that, this is a team that, went to the TSC final last year and almost returns almost everybody. I mean, they're going to be chomping at the bit, and especially with IHA out, they're thinking, this is as good of a scenario for us as it could possibly be. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're determined to get there. I'm going with IC 4-2.
All right, and I was reading the other day the lone publication, the longest standing family owned and operated daily source for high school sports news across North Jersey. Of course, the website NorthJerseySports.com. I was reading it the other day. Fine writing staff over there, and one gentleman covered the Mahwah Hasbrook Heights game, and then I listened to a show also that runs on that fabulous NorthJerseySports.com website, and he was talking about how Mahwah, if they played as well as they did against Hasbrook Heights, would have every opportunity to beat Immaculate Conception. So I am a little bit confused by your stance here on your quarterfinal pick.
You also can't talk to me after the game. If you talk to me after the Mahwah game, I'd say Mahwah's winning the TSA.
Right. Well,
that's how well they played. They played one of the best games that I've covered, like from a team. But man, it's really tough to do that twice against 2 quality teams in a county tournament. Can they do it? Sure, they could. I think they're going to play well. I think IC is just a team that is chomping at the bit for a shot at a county title. They've been close a lot of times, and I'm sure they feel like this is the year that they could finally break through.
And I'm taking Mahwah. Okay, last game to discuss there in the quarterfinal round is the 2-time defending champion Ramsey Rams, the number 2 seed, against Ridgewood, the number 7. And I'm going to go first, Richie B. I'm taking Ramsey.
I'm taking Ramsey too. I mean, you have when you have Victoria Sebastian.
When you have all Sebastians.
How many of them are on team? 7?
3.
I mean, come on.
3, yeah. You got 33% of the lineup is a Sebastian.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're going to hit. I mean, Ken, pitching-wise, can Ridgewood make all the plays? If they can stay away from extra outs, they can stay in the game. But Ramsey is a team that is masters on capitalizing on other teams' miscues. And so I think Ridgewood is going to have to play very well defensively and have to scratch out 2 or 3 runs. But I got Ramsey here 5-1.
Okay, you got Ramsey. All right, so that leaves us with the semifinal rounds. For me, it's Ramsey against Northern Valley Old Japan. Again, I'm taking Ramsey.
First of all, you have it all wrong because Ramsey would be playing IC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have it upside down. I'm still taking Ramsey. Continue. I would have Ramsey Mawa, and that would leave me with Ramsey to advance to the final. What say you?
I got IC and Indian Hills.
IC and Indian Hills. All right. I'll take Ramsey and sheesh. The
Old
two.
Japan Ramapol. You're gonna have to pick someone.
Can there be a tie?
This is gonna be hard for you.
What if the
this
game
is going to be a tough one for you, buddy.
Jeez. We'll see you next week on In the Circle.
Follow the leader.